We're with Kristin Davis, who this past week gained enough votes, 23,000, not votes, signatures, 23,000 signatures to gain her a place on the November ballot. She's running for governor on the anti-prohibition party line. You're in this to win. What do you view as your chances? What is your goal here? You'd love to win. You have any expectations of winning?
You know, I recognize it's a long shot. I mean, look at the amount of money that Cuomo has, $23 million. His approval ratings are through the roof. I recognize it's a long shot. However, if I'm to garner 50,000 votes in the gubernatorial election, the anti-prohibition party will achieve permanent ballot status for the next 4 years, which means we will be a force for reform here in New York. We can lobby for marriage equality, legalization of marijuana and prostitution, and we can make some needed reforms.
Now, you're using, tell me if this is correct, Roger Stone, who is a Republican operative. He worked for Reagan and for Nixon. Some call him a trickster. He is your campaign guru, right?
He is.
What is the role he is playing here?
He's the strategist. He's running the entire campaign from, doing everything that makes a campaign function, setting up all of the appearances, generating, our press releases. We work together on our position papers, that sort of thing.
Some suggest that he's using you to just lure votes away from the Democrats.
I don't think my votes are going to come from one particular party. I think they'll come from people who are outraged at the system here in New York. Any vote for me sends a very clear message to the career politicians that we demand change and reform here, that we will no longer take politicians who are criminals and commit crimes after they're in office and then they go unpunished and they tax us exorbitantly. I mean, we want change.
Now, some of the political analysts suggest, in a state as liberal as New York, that your candidacy could impact Andrew Cuomo and shave votes from him and benefit Palladino on the Republican side.
I mean, it's a possibility. I personally haven't thought about it because mine is a protest candidacy, and it might affect Cuomo because he is a career politician, and he's sort of in the political elite. However, we stand for a lot of the same causes, so I don't think it affects him, really.
Would you accept a position if there was a candidate who said, Kristin, I want you in the administration?
I'm not sure. My goal is to advocate for these causes.
You're looking to get the message out there. Let's talk about the message. Where do you stand on same-sex marriage?
I support a marriage equality bill. I think civil unions are separate but not equal, and I think it's disgraceful that the Democratic Party took millions of dollars from the gay and lesbian community and failed to pass a marriage equality bill.
Gun control.
Gun control, I support our Second Amendment right. I think we should, criminals are going to buy their guns on the streets, and having stricter laws is really not, going to deter them from buying a gun because they'll still get it from their next-door neighbor.
What about abortion?
I'm obviously pro-choice.
All right, and one of the big issues in this election year is also the controversy over the building of a mosque in Lower Manhattan near Ground Zero. How do you feel about that?
I oppose the mosque.
You approve? You feel there should be a mosque?
No, I oppose it.
Oppose it?
I oppose it. I think Imam Roth has lied about his funding. He said that he's getting $5 million from New York Muslims, and then in his financial filings for 2009, it shows that his biggest sole contributor was from a known Middle Eastern country. I think we should use the Patriot Act to investigate his funding to find out where he's getting his funding and where, what's the real intent. I feel like he's part of a radical Islamic ideology, and that's something that we need to address. No more hate crimes here.
Is it true? You are the first in the history of New York. You're the first candidate you've spent 4 months. You served 4 months for promoting prostitution. You spent at Rikers Island. You're still on probation. Would that make you the first political candidate in the state of New York who was on probation, who was running for a governor?
I think it would. It would make me the first one running, but I'm in the minority when it comes to those being indicted after they're elected.
Let's talk about Eliot Spitzer. Bitterness over the fact that you served time and he served none? No charges?
No, I don't think Spitzer's the issue. I mean, he set a precedence here that career politicians can commit crimes against the 18-plus million people of this state that they promised to serve and protect and go unpunished. And that's something that we need to look at. But, I don't, personally, it's not a vendetta against him.
We hear that he's very upset about the fact that you're running. Have you heard that?
I have.
And?
You know, I mean, he's more concerned with rehabilitating his own image than he is doing any sort of civil service to the people of New York. So I can see why he's upset, because I don't talk kindly of him. But, you know, again, it's not a vendetta against Spitzer.
To digress for one moment away from the political questions, because I'm sure it's on the mind of many people, you ran a very successful business. You had a very high-profile clientele, and there is that little thing called Little Black Book that obviously you possess, and there are a lot of other names in there other than client number 9, like who was client number 10, client number 11, client 12, and so on. How secure is that book?
Well, the book is very secure. It's been a couple of years, and I have yet to release any names. There are many A-list celebrities and heads of foreign nations on the list, but and frankly, if I wanted the press, I would just release that because it's much more interesting to people than politics. But I chose to, you know, make lemonade out of the lemons I was given and advocate for things that I care about.
It can help with fundraising.
You know, you'd think they might want to contribute to the campaign.
So are there no client number 9 going above that? Are the names higher than the one we had in Elliot Spitzer?
Oh yeah, client number 9 was kind of in the middle of the road.
Oh, being the investigative reporter, I'll have to probe that even more. Okay, but if I thought I stood a chance, I would. So we have a few moments left, Kristin, and we're talking, we've learned and we got some insight into you. What is the message that you hope your candidacy is going to deliver to the voters of New York?
You know, it's a protest candidacy. The Republicans and the Democrats have driven the state into a ditch. We have the highest income and property taxes, but yet we're still broke. So it makes no sense to me. The people who, you know, are in positions of power don't know what they're doing, and it's time that New Yorkers use their voice to fight back. And my candidacy is about, you know, radical ideas, but they're geared towards solving our economic problems. And that's something that we have to, you know, personally, I don't smoke pot. Number one, I'm on probation. I get drug tested, but I don't smoke marijuana. I am interested in the economic benefits of it and the jobs that it can create, and I think we need that here in the state.
And help balance the budget of New York.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Kristin Davis, Libertarian candidate for governor of New York, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by 2 of our political gurus. We'll be right back.